the reason why we are smiling, we get mouthpiece of the party, Comrade Changu, here. So, welcome you all, our comrades our colleagues from the media. I must say from the onset, it's been our pleasure to have been working with you and to see you doing your work and doing so freely without any impeachment from us. And most importantly, to continue to see brothers like the Blessed Mtanga here with us. And of course, more new faces. We are so very grateful to the media for continuing to treat us as a party. Thank you very much for that and for doing your work exactly in terms of what it is. I will not waste the time. The jury is out and the spokesperson, which is exactly to engage our court. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, members of the fourth estate, an indispensable arm of the democratic process in any country which aspires to be ruled according to the wish of the majority population. We are happy that we disseminate the wishes of the people, and an election time is actually the penultimate time of the people expressing themselves as to who should be their rulers. I will start by congratulating people of Zimbabwe for the peaceful and mature way they exercise themselves in the vote, which is almost a mini by-election, which is being accepted by all the political parties as a dry run of the coming elections come 2023. I want to congratulate all the winners who came out of this election, regardless of party affiliation. We want to congratulate them. As Democrats in ZanuPf, we say the best candidates won. That's how we say. We say the best candidates won because they are a product of the verdict of the people of Zimbabwe. And if the people of Zimbabwe so choose, so be it. So to all the winners, you were the best candidates, you won. Congratulations. Having said that, we also want to congratulate the party which performed well in the elections. And indeed, the winner is reflected by additional seats which you may have won and additional voters which you may have garnered during the election, because after all a plebiscite is a game of numbers, so numbers decide who comes first and who comes last. So in this instance, our President Emerson Mnangagwa did very well, as shall be reflected in my additional remarks. His ruling party also did very well in the elections, and the candidates of the ruling party who wrestled seats from the opposition did very well. With due respect, I can't say the same about the opposition, because they went in with a certain number of seats, both at national level and at local level. And most of the seats belonged to the opposition because it is their fissures It is their endless fights which ended in them expelling each other from Parliament, and according to the Constitution, if you get expelled, you cannot replace from the party. You've got to go back and ask the electorate. And in the event, the electorate gave their verdict as to the outcome of the fractious nature of the MDC alliance now, the ZanuPf and others. And they were punished accordingly for their immature fights. I want to congratulate Manicaland province for giving us an additional seat in the National Assembly, which became seat number 146 in our absolute two-thirds majority. I also want to congratulate Harare province for adding another seat in Epworth, which gave us seat number 147, 2 additional seats in our absolute majority in Parliament. I also want to congratulate several local council districts where ZanuPf snatched seats from the MDC. This cannot equally be said of the other parties. So, I said, the first one past the post is given the Olympic medal. In this instance, the first one past the post in all instances was ZanuPf. So we met the Olympic medal of the elections, belongs to the part of President E.T. Mnangagwa, belongs to ZanuPf, the part of the Zimbabwe Revolution, and it belongs to the winners in ZanuPf who snatched seats. I also want to congratulate those in ZanuPf who managed to retain their seats, all of them. It means that the electorate did not feel any misgiving about their trust and confidence in ZanuPf representation. That's why we didn't lose any seats. So we only added. I also wish those who may have lost during the elections for giving credence to the Zimbabwean democratic processes by participating in those elections. I also want to give particular thumbs up to the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission for providing a fair hunting ground for all the parties. I do hope that the unfair criticisms which have been leveled against the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to the team of Justice Priscilla Chikumba can now die down, because they have accorded 2 wins to the ZanuPf where they won. The ZanuPf was of the view that ZEC was biased. I haven't seen any situation where a victory has been snatched away from ZanuPf by ZEC or a complaint up to now. So maybe they will now have to swallow their words and say the criticism which they were leveled against ZEC was unfounded, because it has made them win, it has made them retain their seats, it has made them settle their scores among MDC factions. The paradox is, if you are happy with the fact that you trounced MDCA of Monzora, you must also be happy that you are being trounced by ZanuPf. Because it is the same process of the elections which has accorded you a victory against Monzora, which also made sure that you feel the loss to ZanuPf. So it means that the process is a fair ground, and the endless cacophony about the electoral process reform, about registration of voters, about ZanuPf this, about ZEC that, maybe now it can end, and people focus on the business of the day, which is winning the heart and minds of the electorate, because they are the ones who are being given a chance by ZEC to decide who is the victor in the Zimbabwean electoral process. We may be young people, we are not perfect, But as I have emphasized, no party understands the fight for democracy in Africa more than ZanuPf, because this is a product of blood and sacrifice of up to 100,000 souls against those who now want to judge us about our democratic processes. We paid the ultimate price. And I always want to remind the fourth press, the fourth estate, that we are a product of a democratic process in 1980 when the ballot decided who should become the ruler in Zimbabwe. Even when the bullet delivers us the military victory which we have desired, we use the bullet to create conditions for a democratic process. We did not use the bullet as a passport to the office. No, we did not. We only used it as the bullet was a process to the ballot for us. This is unique in modern history, because in all other revolutionary born states, from China to Cuba to Vietnam to Korea to Algeria, maybe even to Mozambique, to Angola, the mere victory in the battlefield as a national liberation movement assured the party that they became rulers forever. In our case, no. Zimbabwe made a departure. So the people of Zimbabwe are by nature democratic. Please respect their choices. Don't let them be taught by Western countries who deny them democracy. So we are hoping that certain young men in his party, now that the people of Zimbabwe have made a choice, he should not be tempted to continue to cavort with the likes of Kate Hoy and other right-wing British MPs, or House of British Lords, who hunger and hanker for the time when Zimbabwe belonged to them. They were title deeds from 1890 about this land of Zimbabwe, and it is written in their family wills. And 2 decades after the land reform, they still hanker and hunger for the land of Zimbabwe, and they are organizing a conference in London, and they are inviting the opposition to go and use that platform to divide their claims of land to the Zimbabwe people. No, I think the MDC should finally cut AMRI, and Triple C, now that they've changed it to a new name, they should not cut the umbilical cord with those people, especially at a time when most of the urban land is now going to be title deeds by ZanuPf to those people who have since moved in and reclaimed the birthright of Zimbabwe. So we are hoping that this election now gives a certain sense of maturity to the MDC, that the petulant and peevish nature which has marked some of their behavior can now be cast away because the voter has decided. I also want to remind in my statement a couple of weeks ago when people were saying that there were a lot of young people who were rushing to MDC rallies. And I said, a rally is not a booth. A booth is where power is dispensed in the Zimbabwe Constitution. And the booth decided that fate on last Saturday, not the rallies of young people who may come because the MDC has been denying them recreational facilities as urban young people. They want recreational facilities. They want somewhere where they can enjoy themselves. Unfortunately, in 2 decades of MDC rule of towns, there is no recreational facility for young people. There is nowhere where they can go and just enjoy themselves as urbanites. So in the event, if there is a gathering of a politician and maybe he's excitable as a young man and he's got some young girls around him, it's natural that some young people may want to go and be part of the crowd. It's natural because there's no other entertainment. Maybe this time the MDC can realize that a rally is not a booth. The booth is where power is dispensed. Furthermore, we also hope that they can get down to serious business as winners, because there is a responsibility which comes with winning elections. That's why we congratulated the MDC for the good performance it has done, notwithstanding the loss it has suffered to ZanuPf. Can they go back and seriously look at removing the rubbish which has become the eyesores of our cities? Can they go back and remove the sewage which festers in the urban areas which are their strongholds? Can they go back and provide running water and focus on providing running water for people? Because that's what an urban area is about. There is a whole gamut of issues which says that urbanization is the future of humankind. These are the issues, these are the things which the MDC should be addressing as urban winners. Be responsible. Continuously trying to blame the central government when you are in government yourself at local governments is not the game. Because what is now happening is that the electorate is catching up with them. Because we see this election which happened last Saturday as an inflection point. An inflection point in a graph is where a graph takes a turn. We may not have made huge gains, but we definitely made pointers to the fact that we are going to be making huge gains. And we see 2023 as an opportunity where that reflection point in the fortunes of ZanuPf can be sustained. And how will it be sustained? It will be sustained because the message of our president is beginning to resonate with the electorate, which is exactly why the inflection point is a byproduct of the new look ZanuPf, which is for urban renewal, which is for infrastructure for the country, which is for business people being given a chance to do what they do best, opening up factories and providing infrastructure to Zimbabwe. That's what Open for Zimbabwe is open for businesses is all about. When we mentioned, when the president announced that in 2018, people thought they thought it was just a hollow slogan. But now that slogan has gained traction. Business people are happy with the way the ZanuPf is running the country. That's why the economy, even by IMF standards, they published a few days ago, they were here. They said Zimbabwe is on a growth trajectory, and the IMF has never been our friend for a long time. So when you begin to be given accolades by those who have been persistent critics, you must say something is good. And even those who do not like you must accept that something is good. So we are being marked not only by the electorate, but even by international development institutions like the IMF. It means President Mnangagwa's message is getting through. He is getting through with the urban electorate. Why? Because urbanization is an inevitable trend in the development of the country. And for 2 decades, ZanuPf had taken the attitude that the urban areas are the hunting ground of MDC. The Renewed Republic has taken a different turn. It says urban areas are equally the hunting ground of ZanuPf because every country must go through the process of urbanization if it is to modernize. So we are here for the long term. We shall be contesting each and every vote in urban areas henceforth. And the inflection point of last Saturday is a stark warning to the MDC that their days of urban electoral supremacy are under serious challenge. This is the message which we want the MDC, and we are being open about it. We are not hiding it. We are saying to them, your urban supremacy days are over, and for that to be contested, we shall be pinpointing everything lax or corrupt which the MDC has been doing in urban areas. We shall be highlighting to the electorate. We want the voter to account to make sure that every urban MP of the MDC accounts for the vote which they got on last Saturday. We shall be making sure that every councillor of the MDC who won last Saturday, the voter shall make him account in that ward why he won. And if the garbage is still there, if the sewage is still the swimming ground of young people, if running water is not available and you are in charge, then we will make sure that you will be made accountable, because that we think is going to be the decider of the urban vote in 2023. So believe you me, we will be there toe for toe, foot for foot with MDC in urban areas, because we are determined to increase our gains of the electoral vote in urban areas. Now, we also have to say something about the areas where we made gains in the rural vote. First, the margin between the MDC voted hours in the rural areas reflects a washout. You know what is a washout? It means we almost cleaned the rural vote. It means that the MDC, which had always said they aspire to make some inroads in rural areas, they failed to make traction. So not only are they in a defensive position in urban areas, they are hopelessly being rejected in rural votes. This is very important for a country where 70 to 80% of the vote is rural. We are not yet urbanized. The majority of the seats in this country are in rural constituencies. So if the MDC cannot make headway there, but instead they make tailway there, they are not making headway, they are making tailway there. It means that the signs are very bleak for Chamisa ever aspiring to go to State House. He should begin to think of cutting his cloth accordingly. And I've seen somebody on the social media say Chamisa is the master of Harare. Maybe that's what he should aspire for. Cut his cloth accordingly. But Harare alone does not decide the fate of who occupies the State House. You need the rural vote. And you saw our president going to Pinga. You saw him speaking Tonga. You saw him speaking Gebele to the vote there. Previously, for the last 2 decades, the margin of loss for ZanuPf in Pinga was 20,000. Now we are at 8,000. The MDC is at 10,000. The difference is 2,000. Somebody has made a very dramatic campaign in Pinga, and that somebody is ZanuPf. We are warning the MDC that their days of supremacy in Pinga Martinol are over. And I can tell you that the president announced that he will be back in Pinga. He's not even here on 5 April. We are going back to Pinga. We take the electorate serious. We are going to thank them for the turnaround, the inflection point in the Pinga vote. But we are also going to build upon that with our sights firmly focused on 2023. It's not only that he went there to speak in Tonga and Gebele and to the wishes of the local people. Some of the most dramatic infrastructural developments of the Second Republic under Zimbabwe is open for business are happening in the Matebele region north. We gave Victoria Falls, the town, the head immunity in the fight against poverty. We said if we want to see how we can win, let the tourists down, show Zimbabwe how we should fight COVID. And sure enough, we got our lessons from Victoria Falls through head immunity. The tourist town is doing very well. The hotels are full now. We are tweaking through the COVID committee all the rules about COVID so that we facilitate the return of the tourists, so that the people of Victoria Falls can prosper again. Remember, a revolutionary party's purpose from the beginning in the 1963 is to give prosperity to a people. We paid the price for people to get prosperity by our lives. We never lose sight that the goal of ZanuPf is the part of revolution is to give people prosperity. And Victoria Falls as a town is showing that ZanuPf cares about prosperity. That's why we got 4 seats, council seats in Victoria Falls. We have given them an exchange, a new exchange, a hard currency exchange, which is doing extremely well because it is the registry point, it is the IPO, initial public offering center, for most of the hard most of the hard currency minerals, gold in particular. It is there. Eureka is there. Blanket mine is there. Many others are going there. So is registering a palpable boom for the benefit of the new business policies open for business of ZanuPf and President Mnangagwa's Second Republic. It's not only Victoria Falls, Wange, which is always the energy base of this country, well ahead of Kariba. The hydroelectric power of Kariba is important, but the one which is historically the best of the new nation of Zimbabwe in colonial times is Wange. That's why the railway line left Cape Town and touched on Wange because of the coal. So the energy base of this country is Victoria, is Wange. The town has come back, Wange. People there are very happy about the policy because there are new thermal power stations being opened up and connected to the grid. Wange 7 and 8 is on board. Junction has just been connected. Wange 7 and 8 is going to be commissioned this year. Coke oven batteries are sprouting all over the town. Dinson Collier now exports 50,000 tons, 150,000 out of 150,000, of which 100,000 is going to the local market and Selu, the ferrochrome. We no longer need to import coking coal for our ferrochrome industries because Wange is supplying. Not only supplying Wange, DRC is getting its coking coal for the cobalt mine from Wange. Even ArcelorMittal, South Africa, the largest steel plant in Africa to date, is getting its coking coal from Wange. By May this year, another 200,000 tons will be commissioned. By next year, another 1 million tons will be commissioned, just by one company, but there are many others. So there is a prosperity which is coming back to Wange. No longer are the Tonga people and the Ndebele people from that area selling wooden artifacts for their prosperity. No, young Tonga boys and Ndebele girls from that area are busy working on computers in factories, which are showing that Zimbabwe can again become a major exporter. These are the palpable gains of the Second Republic. Heavy industry attracting world-class capital to the resources of Zimbabwe, which are mouth-watering. So the Second Republic is selling the idea of Zimbabwe as a natural and profitable destination of capital. That's why Wange in Matebelele North is changing its fortunes, and along the way changing the fortunes of Zimbabwe. And that will be the town which will be supplying coking coal to the Chivumanise iron steel complex. These things resonate. That's why you can see prosperity is being translated into more votes for ZanuPf in Matno. It's not just people turning around because there are some slogans which have been made by the ruling party. No, we are doing things which make people's lives change every day. So we are determined to continue on that trajectory of changing the people's lives so that they can get a better life. And in the process, we are also getting the support of our diaspora. We are reaching out to the diaspora because we are telling them the reasons which made you look for jobs abroad, chasing away businessmen from Zimbabwe because of indigenization and stupid laws of the Second Republic, the First Republic. They've been changed by the First Republic, by the Second Republic, so that businessmen come to Zimbabwe and make it possible for Zimbabwean people to get jobs within Zimbabwe. So we anticipate that even in the passage of time, the Zimbabweans who are being bothered with permits in South Africa will eventually be coming home to better pastures. The conditions are there. Already 5,000 jobs are going to come out of setting up the blast furnaces in Chamisa. We need young technicians, welders, and other related jobs, technicians to come and set up that blast furnace. That means that we have to go to South Africa, where our young people will build stadiums for the World Cup in 2010. Now they can come back home like they are doing now, building roads.